All right, and we're live Saturday around the grounds 2023 real estate wrap up, talking the facts, the figures, and the feelings. We're still working today. Stay tuned. We're going to tell you what happened on the ground. Good afternoon, Sarge.
Good afternoon, Billy. And the last Saturday till 2024.
We look like we're matching today.
We are. The gold for a golden Saturday. It's been a golden summer so far. Billy's in the golden years of his youth. So gold ties all the way around.
And I have to say, the amount of people we had coming through our open homes today, these properties, every one of them felt like a golden goose.
Well, when you're the only show in town, people can only watch you. So sell in isolation, not in competition, to quote Tom Panos. That's what we were doing today. Group numbers 16 on a unit that we've had on the market for 4 months. Other numbers, Billy, were big.
Yeah, I had 2 opens at one property today, a morning and an afternoon showing, 8 groups through a piece.
16 again.
Really, really good. I mean, 16 groups, to put that into context for anyone watching, is really strong numbers no matter what time of year we're showing. So things seem to be busy as normal.
Yeah, and what I found today, people out there that are watching, I know Billy's friends are watching. Billy's heading up straight after this. He couldn't go earlier because he's got commitments, he's disciplined. And we're doing our wrap up for the year, but 16 through an open's good. What I found was really quite interesting was a lot of people weren't in our buy match system. So 16 groups I had through one, 12 of them were new.
Wow.
So we had the capacity through a cloud-based system to enter your mobile number, and it brings up what you've seen. And I was entering mobile numbers, and this was their first time visiting Novak, which indicated there were a lot of people out there taking opportunity to look at property at a time when they may be vacating or homestay vacay or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But let's go with our yearly wrap.
Well, we're going to spice things up today. We're going to talk about things we couldn't do in previous episodes because we didn't have the 2023 figures. But what a year it's been. We're going to tell you about some of the Novak highlights this year. We've had parties. We've had Novak investor nights. We've had great listings all year round. I wanted to start off with saying Team Lisa Novak broke records this year.
Yes, what were the records they broke?
But one of which I found most interesting was number 8 Farnell Street in Curl on the beachfront was the second most viewed property on realestate.com this year with over 33,000 views.
So 33,000 views, was that just New South Wales or Australia? Billy?
That was realestate.com. I imagine that's countrywide. Number 2, there was only one in front, and that was a $70 million waterfront in Darling Point.
Yeah, well, 8 Farnell, very close to selling that. It could be a Happy New Year sale, that one. It's when you're getting 16 to 20 million on the northern beaches, it's a very thin buyer pool or shallow buyer pool. And, Lisa has worked tirelessly. She's had about 8 of these luxury properties, and they're all going to fall like dominoes, I think, very, very, very soon. So, yeah, great for Team Lisa. Billy helps out in that team a lot. Lisa's, I think, will finish the year as a leading agent on the northern beaches. Leading agent, super mum to her 2 kids, sis Mark, works in a partnership with Mark, running one of the busiest real estate agencies on the northern beaches, and still has time to top the numbers. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, we had some cracking listings for the year, some of which are still actually open over this Christmas New Year period. I think anyone open over this period obviously has real motivation to put something together. So really good to be a buyer and a seller at this point in time, given there's not much stock.
So we'd say 8 Farnell with 32,000 individual views was probably our most traffic property. It was probably our our most inspected property?
Yeah, it'd be up there. It'd be up there. Obviously, a lot of groups want to see that out of curiosity. Many genuine buyers, though, coming from all different parts of Sydney, which is, you know, lovely to see. It wasn't, though, the quickest property sold.
What was the quickest property sold?
The quickest property sold this year was 2/29 Redmond Road. I'm not just blowing my trumpet here.
Getting in some cool jazz before New Year's Eve, Billy. Blowing the trumpet.
Absolutely. But this was a property that didn't even make it to the Novak social media, didn't make it to the database. One buyer came through a property under contract with myself in DY. I drove him and his beautiful partner up to this new property that I said, we've got an agreement for, got a contract, but no photos yet. Come and have a look. He put an offer in on the spot. The owner actually had 2 offers from that very first private appointment from one other group, ran it best and final, and they were over the moon closing out that.
So the trumpet has blown. Billy had the fastest sale of the year. If you unpack that one a little bit, this property was coming to market. We the one that Billy sold. We were actually waiting for carpet cord or one of those big franchises had it penciled in for a couple of weeks, another fortnight. Buyers came through a property that we sold the night before. We still run that open because it's hard to contact people. You know, we sell it at 10 o'clock on a Friday night. We have a 9 o'clock open. We open it up. We do put signs up saying, look, it's under contract, under offer, but it gives us an opportunity to sell them something else. That open was at 10 o'clock. It finishes at 10:30. The buyer goes and looks at the property. It's only 5 minutes away, 10:35. Bingo, bango, bongo. On the market for 5 minutes.
It was a very good turnaround. You know, out of all the transactions we've done this year, that was certainly one that stuck out. But have you had a favourite, Glenn?
Favourite? So, well, personally, my favourite was I sold beautiful family home, 50 years with one family, just before Christmas. There wasn't pressure to sell it before Christmas, but it was really, really nice. We had it pre-market, showed it for about 10 days, sold it to another lovely family, and it was just a great thing. This was a second property that I've sold for this family. Another one was an investment property. That was one of my favourite, but they're all like your kids, Billy. You do have a favourite, but you just can't say it. Are you your mum and dad's favourite?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I've met them. I don't think you are.
I've been told they've only got 4 spoons left in the drawer. They've got family coming over tonight, so I'm going to say no. But you're very much right. We do love them all equally. Some do stick out more than others, though.
What I think there are a couple of favourite sales of mine, but they weren't residential sales. They were actually commercial sales. I thought the boys selling 11 million. What was that?
11.5 million. Number 12, the Strand DY.
Yeah, I think that was a favourite sale. When I say the boys, Mark, Novak, and Stefan Bugalo, that was a sale that we went out to the market with. Generated a lot of interest. It has development potential. DY beachfront, 2 shops and a 3-bedroom residence, and that was a lot of work. That was maybe, well, I could say 200 inquiries, but lengthy inquiries and long discussions and a lot of information shared and IMs going out, and to end up with a few buyers and get a settlement on that property, not a delayed settlement, but a residential sort of 8-week settlement on 11.25, was it?
11.5.
11.5 million. Was a great sale. They did another great commercial sale, Victor Glass, across the road, owned by one family for 60 years. And once again, we work in a pretty open planned office, and we do spend a lot of hours together, and we talk a few war stories. Once again, back in the day, that was a huge amount of work, just getting people around and servicing people. and being really polite and professional with people, because residential, everyone's sort of got a bit of an idea of what it's all about and what they're doing.
Yep.
And a lot of that's set by the bank. That, you know, they meet with a broker. The broker says you can afford this much. Then they match 800,000 up with 800,000 in DY, 800,000 in Manly, 800,000 in Narrabeen, and then they work out what to do. But commercial, and especially with properties that can be redeveloped, you have such a wide range of buyers, from really quite novices in that buying, and you spend a lot of time, you know, working them through the steps, to people that just look at it and know if it works or not, and then might be looking at end uses for the product. And I thought they were two really, really, really smart sales, and really, really good for the business.
Yeah,
Billy?
I agree. Yeah, I think those were two, you know, were big results for the team. Listings wise, I think we're rolling into a really exciting new year. We've got a beautiful harbourfront in Manly coming on, similar to the calibre of home we sold a couple of years ago, number 2 Riddell Street. That'll be up there with another record-breaking waterfront harbourfront home. So that's exciting for January.
I think by the end of January, Team Lisa will have maybe a dozen, you know, really, really high-end homes in the tens of millions, starting up to 20 million, which is again a great thing for the office. I'll have a few at 800,000. So if you're not looking multi-million dollars, old Glen can always help you.
I've got one around 500,000, Glen, coming on next week, Neutral Bay. Any investors or first home buyers, get yourself into Neutral Bay near Mossman, a little bit fancy, around the 500 mark.
A studio?
One bedroom.
One bedroom, great
with
value.
Parking. Yeah, so really exciting.
Great value.
And that's what I love about this office. We've got property for everyone at all price points, including rentals.
Well, I think rentals, you know, we're cracking $2,000 for residential rentals. We're still renting property $500 a week. We've got fully furnished professional accommodation on Harbord Road, Manly Vale, Belrose, you know, 450 a week. So it's great. Rental teams worked tirelessly this year. Hats off to Brunker. That sort of runs all those guys, managing over 1,500 properties, you know, probably about 4,000 tenants and 3,000 owners.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Okay, Billy, is there anything else that really stood out?
Well, Glen, the question, before we get to the question everyone's been waiting for, can you give a 30-second wrap up of what you reckon is going to happen early next year?
Okay, I'm probably used 30 seconds now. I'm very slow at saying these things. However, what it looks like is Zach from Shaw Finance gives us a review of what the Big Four think interest rates will do. It looks like near the end of the year we'll have a drop in interest rates, and into 2025 are coming back into, you know, 3% range. We've got maximum immigration that hasn't slowed down, so about 1.5 million people will come to Australia and make Australia their home over the next 3 years. That's like building another Adelaide. At the end of this year, we'll finish about 50,000 dwellings behind where we need to be without the influx of immigration. So that means lower interest rates, pressure on supply of housing, both rental and property prices will be up. Now, in saying that, someone could eat a bat in China and it all comes crashing down again. You know, we've seen plans of mice and men go astray. But without, you know, moving into World War IV or III or something like that, if everything stays the same globally, I think we're going to have increases in rent, pressure on rental stock, and pressure on residential for sale stock. And I think that will flow over into commercial stock.
So prices on the way up is the forecast. The short term, there's going to be a little bit more stock coming in. We're operating in a record low environment right now. There's never been as little property on the market for sale in the Northern Beaches all year, but you will find that will hopefully increase a little bit, but not drastically.
Look, Lisa and I spoke about that last week. 300 properties for sale. How many, Billy?
Yeah, about 300.
300 properties for sale on the beaches. When it's at its peak, when there's a lot of transactions, a lot of people selling, it's around 800. Okay, say we dump 200 properties on the market in the month of January. When you get in groups of 16, 14, 15 buyers for a property, they'll be sold.
They will.
We never can catch up that high stock level. Where we get high stock levels is where properties don't sell, and that's just not happening.
No,
that's just
properties are moving very quickly. Days on market have come down considerably, and personally, we're moving properties within the first week of open homes. So on and off market, overall things are moving quickly.
Yeah. I would say, I think realestate.com saying it's about 28 days on average. Bearing in mind, maybe 40% of the stock holds on to 28 days because they're auction properties.
Yes.
So, there's some that go over and there's some that go shorter. So the big question, Billy, New Year's Eve, what does it look like for you?
Well, I'm going to be in Newcastle this year. I've never had a New Year's in Newcastle. Going up with a few friends on the beach. I think there's a few fireworks like this behind us.
Oh, yes.
Overall, just enjoying the sun and the vibes.
The vibes. Will be very safe up there. They're pretty tough up in Newcastle, Billy.
Yes.
They're coal miners and pretty rugged sort of gentlemen up there. So don't.
I'll be on best behaviour.
Be very polite to everyone.
And Glenn?
Dinner at our house in DY. I think it's under the English Northern Beaches Council put a big barge out off DY Point and light off about 15 minutes of 9 o'clock fireworks, which is just about the right time for me. I don't think I'll see 12 o'clock, but I'll definitely have a good day the next day out on the beaches and so on.
Awesome. Well, I think from the whole team, it's been a great year. Obviously, thank you for all your support. The viewers, the one live viewer we've got right now, thanks for joining us until then. It's probably you're or my mum, Glenn.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a cracking New Year's, guys, and we'll be back in 24.
We'll be back on Tuesday. Opens on Wednesday and Saturday. So a lot of people aren't going back to work till the 8th. Great time to sort of start doing some research and making some property plans for 2024. Yeah,
I've got 2 new properties coming on next week before the rest of the stock hits. So take advantage of this opportunity. See you guys.
Happy New Year.